Welcome back to Friday 13th YouTube Metalheads. Today we're going to be talking about a new album by Jag Panzer, who've just recently released their new album on Atomic Fire Records called The Hallowed, which is a fantastic album, cult classic US power metal band. Check it out, Metalheads. Now, this band originally edited from Colorado in the US, have been around since 1981. They're one of the most underrated bands out there that are still playing cult classic US power metal. Now, me personally, I love US power metal. I grew up listening to Jag Panzer. I presume most of you guys out there would have done as well. So the band originally formed by Harry the Tyrant Colden on vocals. Would also have Mark Brody on guitar, John Tetley on bass guitar, Joey Tafola on guitar, who later on went on to join Leatherwolf and also did some solo albums for Shrapnel Records, and the original drummer Renald Carlson. Now, in total, Jag Panzer have released 11 albums. The debut album, which is a cult classic, as we all know, was called Ample Destruction. This was released in 1984. Originally released on Asra Records, later on re-released on Metalcore Records, and in 1991 released on Metal Blade Records. Now, the band have released 11 previous albums, and the band are still going strong. Like I said, the first album, Ample Destruction, was a cult classic, set the way for the band, and they've been doing fantastic albums ever since. Now, the band would release their second album in 1994 on Rise and Sun Records. This would feature vocalist Daniel J. Cogan, who sadly passed away. This would also feature guitarist Chris Costa and longtime drummer Richard Skenquist. Now, if you've been growing up with Jag Panzer like I have throughout the years, you'll know that the band have got a very much influenced by Iron Maiden. They also have a Celtic vibe, which kind of reminds me of Thin Lizzy. So having a Thin Lizzy and Iron Maiden vibe mixed together really does work well for this band. They stand out from a lot of US power metal bands. Unique as they are, they've wrote some fantastic albums in previous time. Now, the band's next album would be called The Fourth Judgment. I really like this album. This is when the band signed to Century Media. This has also featured Joey Tafola come back to the band. Now, the band would write some awesome albums such as Age of Mastery, Thrain to the Throne. This was more like a Macbeth story, very Celtic indeed. The band had also released Mechanized Warfare, which is a heavy, fantastic album. The band would also release the album Chain of Command. Now, this was a bootleg, very much bootlegged album back in the day. So they finally released it on Century Media Records with new artwork, remastered. It's a great album. This was also followed by the album Cast in Stone, another great album for Century Media. The band left the label and went with Steamhammer Records and released the next album in 2011. This was called The Scorch of the Light, then The Devilment Chord. And like I said, the new album, The Hallowed, is now released on Atomic Fire Records. Now, the new album, The Hallowed, features 10 songs. It also features guitarist Ken Roddy, who's a fantastic guitarist, and the rest of the lineup is still the same. We've got Harry on vocals, Mark on guitar, John on bass, and Rickard on drums. So, the songs on this album are Bound as One, Pray, The Lies, Ties That Bind, Stronger Than You Know, Onward We Troll, Edge of the Knife, Dark Descents, Wither the Storm, Renewed Flame, and the last song is called Last Rites. Now, it's also interesting to know that there's quite a few people involved with the production, mastering, and engineering on this album. Firstly, we would have Ken Mary, who produced the drums and the bass guitar. As we all know, Ken's involvement with Flotsam and Jetsam, Fifth Angel, Alice Cooper, and many other great artists. He's a fantastic drummer. This part was recorded at the Sonnet Parish Productions in Arizona, whereas the rest of the album was recorded at the Steampunk Audio Labs in Arizona and the Hound House Studios in Colorado. Now, this album was also featured Jim Morris, who did the engineering for the album. Now, we all know Jim's been involved with Jag Panzer on previous albums. He also works at Morris Sound Studios. And also the mastering was done by Muriel Applebaum, who's worked with Faith No More, Alford, Candlemass, Armored Saint, and numerous artists. So the artwork for this album also is fantastic. This was done by Travis Smith. As we all know, Travis Smith has worked with Death, Nevermore, Opeth, Psychotic Waltz. A very illustrated artist, very creative. Now, the opening track is Bound as One. This is a fantastic opening song. It's really melodic, it's powerful, it has lots of energy, and Harry's vocals are fantastic. Guitar work by Ken and Mark are fantastic as well. And the rhythm section by John and Rickard are also very pounding and rhythmic. So it's a fantastic song. Takes me back to the old early days of Jag Panzer. And like I said, if you're a fan of Iron Maiden, Thin Lizzy, you're really going to like this. And another band that springs to mind when I listen to the band Jag Panzer is Riot. I think there's a little bit of Riot in their music as well. So Jag Panzer and Riot would be a fantastic tour together. Another good thing about Jag Panzer is they have their unique guitar sound. It stands out from a lot of power metal bands. And if you know the music, you'll know straight away that this is Jag Panzer even before the vocals come in. Now, the next song is called Prayer. This is a pretty cool song. It's more laid back than the opening track. Like most albums, if you're going to be playing power metal, you want a kick ass, slap in the face opening track. It's less powerful than the first song. It's still a good song with some great vocals. The next song is called Ties That Bind. Now, this is more of a Jag Panzer slap in the face song. Very powerful, very energetic, with some fantastic vocal range by Harry. Guitar playing by Ken and Mark is also fantastic. And I like the way that these guys spin off from each other, a little bit like KK Downing and Glenn Tipton. Now, the next song is called Ties That Bind. I really like this song. It's a little bit more laid back from the first song, but it's got a really catchy choruses and riffs. Harry's vocals are fantastic. Some great guitar playing by Ken and also Mark. Rhythm section, brilliant by John and Ricard. Have done a fantastic job. Like I said, it's a little bit more laid back from the first song, but it's a really catchy song, mid-paced Jag Panzer song. Now, the next song is called Stronger Than You Know. I really like the beginning of this. It's got a slap in the face, and it kind of reminds me of early Judas Priest, kind of like British Steel era with the Iron Maiden touch. Brilliant guitaring, brilliant performance, very strong vocals, a really good song all around. So you really need to check this song out, folks. It's called Stronger Than You Know. Our next song is called Onward We Toil. I like this one. It's a little bit more laid back, but it's really strong Jag Panzer early material. No, it's not all about speed, but they write some really, really good songs, some really catchy riffs here, great melodic vocals, and all around a fantastic, strong song. Next song is called Edge of the Knife. This kind of reminds me of a song that could be off the Casting Stone album. I like the Casting Stone album myself. I think it's a fantastic album. Takes me back a little bit to the early days of Jag Panzer. Harry's vocals really do shine through. Some really catchy guitar riff in here by Mark, also Ken. Some nice double bass drumming by Ricard and some fantastic bass playing by John. Now, the next song is called Dark Descents. This is probably the strongest song on the album, certainly the heaviest song. I guess you could say it's a Judas Priest anthem. Maybe Painkiller, maybe Leather Rebel, but it's a really powerful song, full of energy, very inspirational song indeed. So it's a fantastic all-around song, and it's called Dark Descents. If you want to hear something heavy, fast, with melodic guitaring, fantastic vocals, this is the song on the album that you need to check out, folks. So all in all, this is a really, really good album. It's good to see the guys are back. The guys are actually touring in July onwards, playing some festivals such as Headbangers Open Air. So thanks for watching, Metalheads. I'm going to give this album 4 out of 5. I'm looking forward to seeing the band in the very near future. Be safe, Metalheads. Speak to you soon. Thanks for watching.